This is obviously the furthest you've ever come out of Scotties. I know you got a tough, really tough game tonight, but you must be over the moon in your position.
Yeah, I'm so proud of the girls for the way that we played that game. You know, we were behind, we were trailing until the seventh end, and we just hung in there, and we just wanted to keep playing well. We were playing well. We just weren't catching the breaks at the right time, and we played really hard, and I'm really proud of that performance. And if we can keep going with that, I think we'll do well.
The defending two-time champions, how do you gather yourself?
We're going to gather ourselves like we just played this game. Any team we face, we just treat them the same way. We have to go out there and play our game and to our potential, and that's what our plan is to do tonight.
And considering this evening's game is not necessarily a must-win, you can lose it. Does that change the pressure or anything coming after playing a must-win game?
Absolutely not. I mean, especially coming off the game, the way we played that game, we want to carry that performance through. So that'll be our goal. That'll be our only focus for tonight, is just to keep playing well and see where we end up.
Yeah. And obviously at a week like this, you really have to figure out when to peak, right? Your team has had a great run so far. What do you need to do just to keep the momentum going?
I think it's just really the same discussions that we have pre-game, same routine. You know, we went into that game really wanting to fight hard from the first rock, and we were able to bring that out. You know, we were challenged very hard in that game, which we expected, and we just stuck it out. And, you know, we made the right shots at the right time, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, we kept believing.
With this, all week long, you've talked about how your team's in a different mental place this year. You've worked to be mentally stronger and play better. Was this game an example of how that came through in a crunch, where maybe in another year you might not have won that game?
Yeah, exactly. I think that, I mean, we knew that we should be in that game today, and we took that attitude out, and we wanted to perform. Like I said, we were challenged very hard in that game, but we kept sticking it out and sticking to what our plan was mentally. And yeah, we were able to pull together.
I don't know if you consider yourself underdogs, but did that make it not easier, but going into the other games, do you take a different attitude in these games now as you move on through the playoffs?
No, people might think we're underdogs, but in our head, we belong here, and we're going to take the same attitude as we did on any other game and play our game to our potential. And that's the plan for tonight.
Krista, you had to like the first half of that game, maybe not quite the second half. How relieved are you that you guys were able to pull that out?
Yeah, I felt pretty relieved in the ninth end to take that too, and you know, just get a little more comfortable lead back, and you know, going into the 10th end being up 3 is a good feeling. So yeah, happy with the ninth.
So looking forward tonight, you've got a rematch with Tracy Fleury. I guess, what did you learn from the last match with her that you're going to be able to take into this one, and maybe turn around that outcome?
Well, we know that they're good shooters, and we definitely have to bring our A games to beat them. And you know, I definitely want to feel the draw weight a little bit more, but again, I think like we've been playing really well, so just go in and be consistent how we've been throwing, and I think it'll be a tight one.
Krista, playing with some people in the stands this afternoon, what kind of impact did that have on you and your team?
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, the cheering, you know, the cheering is always the best, but it was nice just to have fans out there cheering for both games going on, and all 4 teams had cheers. So it's really nice. And of course, you know, we had our families there. So that is always the best when you have your families cheering you on, and, you know, just all of Thunder Bay being there, or a lot of Thunder Bayers being there, and lots of the junior stars that I know. So, and their families, it was really nice to have them there.
Do you think that actually made an impact on your team's performance today?
I mean, we always try to say like, we don't think of the crowd, we don't, you know, focus on that. But I mean, it's pretty uplifting when you make a good shot and you have a lot of cheers, especially when you hear, you know, people that you know yelling your name and things like that. It's pretty uplifting. So maybe it gave us a little bit more positive energy out there.
When you go from playing all week in an empty arena to having even just a handful of fans, did that cause any sort of, did it affect you guys more so than you expected?
I wouldn't say like more so. I mean, yeah, when you make those shots, those good shots, those shots that you make and have all those cheers, I mean, that's an awesome feeling for sure. But I don't like, we talked about this and we're not letting, anyone add pressure. Like, we're doing this for ourselves and we're just excited to have some fans, and, it is uplifting. So I don't think it really had too much impact on us, but, we want to win for ourselves, but we also want to win for Thunder Bay too.
And, the team has found themselves in a very similar situation before in the playoffs. What have you learned from the past that you're going to try to put into place this weekend going forward?
Go ahead, Rick. You can answer this one. I talk too much.
Yeah, Chris is passing this off to me. It's Rick.
Good.
Yeah, you know what? We've been in fourth a few times in this event, and we've all done a lot of talking about getting past that. We came in third in the trials, so similar kind of experience. But we're fighting. We're at home. I loved the crowd today. I thought it was amazing. And man, I don't know what it sounded like. Those people on the outside, it sounded totally full to me. And I kept thinking how great it would have been to have like 3,000 in there. Place would be so rocking, So, we want to do it here. We want to do it in Thunder Bay. We want to play our best and certainly take another step.
Just you got off, looked like you had the game in control, and then they battled their way back. Did your team have to regroup? Is there a time there where you got to regroup and get yourself, mentally back together?
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. When you're giving up steal after steal, it can get to you a little bit. And after every single end, we'd get together and we just, stay really positive. And even though there was some missed shots, like, you have to stay positive because it's a long game and anything can happen. And we were still in control. So we were trying to be positive and say, we're up this many with hammer, and, just kind of focus on making those shots and not really looking at what happened the end before and kind of just forgetting about it. And just knowing that we are still in a really good position, is what we kept telling ourselves.
Sometimes you think, well, maybe if you played a little bit more, maybe that would get you over the. Why don't you play more? Why don't you travel a little bit more?
We don't want to. This is what we like to do in our lives, and we have families, we have professions, and we love curling. It's something that we all love to do, but it's not our main thing in our life, and it's something that we really enjoy doing. And so the amount that we choose to curl is what makes us happy. Possibly curling more would not be something that we would want to do, and it might not be, something that we go into every month being excited for. It might be a drag. And so with our lives and our families, I think this is what works for our team, and this is what makes us happy.
Yeah, Rick, when things are starting to go downhill there for the team, what did you say to them? Is there anything you can say, to sort of stop the bleeding?
Yeah, stop the bleeding is exactly the phrase, and it feels like you are bleeding, and it feels to me like a coach the same thing. So, like Krista said earlier, we tried to stay positive, and the fact that we were still winning the game, we still had the hammer, and we still had a lead at all points in the game. So, you try to emphasize those positives. We talked strategy and figuring out what level of defensiveness we wanted to play, and you know what? I'd have to go back and look at it. They started making a lot of shots, and we weren't getting the end set up the way we needed to right from the start. And then really, they just made a ton of shots. And we decided later in the game, in the 8th, 9th, to put some heat on them and try to go on the offense a little more. And finally, they missed 1 and 9 in the work. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for any athlete when you have a huge lead like that and you're bleeding. It's a good way to put it. And stop the bleeding is hard. You can say all you want. Like we were saying, let's just score. Krista would say, I'm trying. I'm trying. So, you do the best you can to build spirits and have the right strategy. That's about it.